All right, folks, thank you so much for tuning in. Listen, we have something for you today. Let me go ahead and share my screen. It's going to be about a oh, I can't even say what it is. I forgot what platform I am on, so I'm going to have to speak in code with you. Okay. Agenda. Okay. 2030. All right. We wanted to go ahead and clue you in as to what this is because, oh my goodness, it sounds like a great plan. Let me show you just a little bit of what they plan on doing with you and yours. Okay. They plan on doing with you whatever they want to, boy, oh boy. Okay. End poverty in all its forms everywhere. End hunger. That's goal number two. Achieve food security and improve nutrition and promote sustainable agriculture. Right? Ensure healthy lives and promote well being for all. Let me tell you something. Yada, yada, yada. We got prosperity for you. We got the planet for you. All right, let's see goal 17. Strengthen the means of implementation and revitalize the global partnership for sustainable development. I'm telling you, we need to end poverty in all its forms everywhere. But did you know, right, that entrepreneurship has actually has played a huge role in ending 80% of the poverty on the planet? Humongous role. And so here we just wanted to let you know and provide a difference between local government and global government. You know, according to the old adage, the best government is that which governs least. I know Ronald Reagan and others, great leaders and representatives, they had that same adage, okay? The best government, you know, one could say as well, is that which governs least and locally. Governments closer to the people or that are over a smaller population, examples would be county legislatures, right? Or other local municipalities. Well, they're easier for citizens to influence, right? For example, your alderman, your county legislature, or town supervisor is likely more accessible than your US representative or US senator. Okay. Imagine how harder it would be to influence a US ambassador to the United Nations or US representatives to a one world Congress or parliament. Okay. The further the government is removed from you and your community, the harder it is to reach and influence. So, in a potential one world legislative body, which we do not have, the United States would be a minority among the many nations of the world. Even if you could influence the US ambassador to the UN or US representatives or parliamentarians to a world government, they'd still be outnumbered by the representatives from the world's other nations. A one world government would take the wealth of Americans and redistribute it overseas without their consent. Has that ever happened before? Overrule, right? A one world government would overrule the US Congress and state legislatures if they refuse to accept refugee and migrant transplants. A one world government would pass laws that violate the Bill of Rights in order to regulate and suppress freedom of speech, movement, assembly, and worship, and ban the individual right to private ownership of firearms. I say all this to say this: there's going to be entities that come in and they're going to masquerade their agenda, which is Agenda 2030, as something that is good for the community, but something that will ultimately snatch control from you, the people, from we, the people. And so all of these and more are egregious violations of our individual liberty and would be justified in order to save the planet or save the environment, from your ecologically destructive carbon footprint. And so this is why the actions such as the 17 UN Sustainable Development Goals required of nations by the UN's Agenda 2030 are so dangerous, right? They have actions like ending world hunger. They have actions. They say, we're going to provide healthcare for all. At what cost, though? Because as we are proving, we really don't need them, right? And so we appreciate the help that we're getting, but we've proven and are proving, okay, that we as a city, the city, okay, wherever you're at, as a city, we actually know what to do. If we need help, we can reach out. And there are programs that are awesome programs that have nothing to do with this sinister agenda 2030. It's sinister because of what they're hiding, right? Not that the goal of ending hunger is wrong, it's not. But they're hiding the atrocities that have to take place, which we won't get into here because we want this, recorded and put onto YouTube, you know. But at what cost? It's costing the nation's sovereignty, the nation's freedom, and you don't have to go that route. So that's basically a small part of what I've been learning, and I think it's amazing. Whoever put this together did a really, really fine job because they're coming with facts. Okay. Now you've seen the 17 goals that we went over. They're not bad, but in order to get them, you've got to take the freedoms of sovereigns away. And uh, sovereigns are people that love liberty, that you love freedom. And we just wouldn't want to do that because that's not a good idea. And so, I'm going to be tonight. We're going to make sure that our mayor knows, our city council knows that if somebody comes up, right, and I've talked about this in the past, and they said, hey, we can give you millions for the city, and you can be a historical figure. Listen, you're already a historical figure, right? So you already got it. And so we don't need, right? We don't need outside help from someone we don't even know so that you could stick your tentacles and have more control over the city than even the leaders who have been or the representatives that have been voted in have. And that's where the issue lies, right? Who knows what else you're going to do to achieve an end? I've heard of the saying that the end justifies the means. That's not always necessarily so. Okay. They taught us young men back in high school that what? And in college too, I think they still teach it. They said no means no. If someone does not want your advance, if someone does not want what you have, get away. You know what I mean? And so we have to say the same thing to those who would be a foreign influence into our freedom. Thank you so much, folks. Thank you for tuning in. We do want you to be abreast of this. You need to go to your city council and do the same thing. You need to go ahead and make sure that Agenda 2030, right? Agenda 2030 does not come to your neighborhood in dressed in something great. All right. We need to make sure that that's stopped. There was like about 2,500 counties that were a part of this agenda, this One World agenda back in 2030. But now, thanks to the John Birch Society and people, getting the word out, it's now down to 46. Absolutely, because the power is still in the people's hands. God bless you. Thank you so much for